Yeas pour 177, 177. Nays contre 152, 152.
I declare the motion carried. The Honourable Government House Leader is rising on a point of order.
No, well, Mr. Speaker, I move, seconded by the Minister of Transport, that the address be engrossed and presented to Her Excellency, the Governor General, by the Speaker.
Mr. Rodriguez, seconded by Monsieur Garneau, moves that the address be engrossed and presented to Her Excellency, the Governor General, by the Speaker. Is it the pleasure of the House to adopt this motion? Agreed and carried. À l'ordre. In accordance with Standing Order 38, a motion to adjourn the House is deemed to have been made and seconded at this time. Therefore, the question is that this House do now adjourn. The Honourable Member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Inter-Parliamentary Union, or the IPU, is a critically important international organization. It's been described as the United Nations of Parliaments. Essentially, it's an organization of legislators that brings together parliamentarians from around the world. It plays an important role in helping to advance democracy and human rights through dialogue among different parliamentarians. And I'm very pleased to share with the House something I think members already know in large part, which is that Senator Salma Atulajan, who has been involved in the IPU for a very long time, has used the IPU as a forum for advancing important human rights issues, is running for the presidency of that organization. And I'm very pleased that all members of our Conservative caucus are supporting her bid to lead the IPU. And I know she has a great deal of support in other parties, including within, for instance, the government caucus. For instance, the member for Beaches East York told the Globe and Mail, quote, "While we represent different parties, I've seen firsthand Salma's thoughtful diplomacy at IPU conferences, and our Parliament would be lucky to have her represent Canada on the world stage." The Liberal member for Hull-Elmer concurred. He also told the Globe and Mail, quote, "Salma would be a great leader of the IPU. It is good for Canada and for what our country represents." Senator Atulajan was encouraged to run for the leadership of the IPU by delegates from Britain and New Zealand. I know she has substantial support around the world for this bid. And it would be good for Canada to have this prominent Canadian senator, a strong advocate of human rights, representing Canadian values on the world stage and really bringing together and strengthening the work of the IPU and continuing to use that as a forum to advance important issues of justice and human rights. Independent Senator Mohammed Iqbal Ravalia said that Ms. Atulajan is a beacon of human rights and inclusive values, and as a Muslim woman, she will raise the profile of Canada's place in the IPU. I want to just say as well that Senator Atulajan has extensive background volunteering in various communities. She served on the executive board of the Canadian branch of the Citizens Foundation, an international organization that has built over 700 schools for Pakistan's poorest children. Senator Atulajan was appointed to the Senate by Prime Minister Stephen Harper and was the first Canadian senator appointed of Pakistani origin. Senator Atulajan and I have had an opportunity to collaborate specifically on the issue of forced organ harvesting and trafficking. She put forward Bill S-240 in the last Parliament, which almost got passed, didn't quite make it, and has since put forward Bill S-204 in this Parliament, another critically important human rights issue that just adds to a long list of the work of Senator Atulajan. So this is really a great opportunity for Canada to have a strong Canadian senator representing us at the Inter-Parliamentary Union in this important leadership role. And it's important, therefore, for the government to get behind this bid and show its support, because I know countries around the world are looking for that signal of support from the government, from our diplomatic representatives. And it's very clear that the government has put the resources of government at the disposal of former Finance Minister Bill Bill Morneau in his bid for a position within the OECD, and it is only right that Senator O'Toole-John have the support of government. We disagree in this place on issues from time to time, of course, but we should be able to work together on the world stage to advance our national interests. And certainly, Conservatives were supportive, as supportive as we could be, of the government's bid to get on the UN Security Council. We try to work together in these international fora, and yet the government has been strangely silent around the bid of Senator O'Toole-John. The minister said he's going to wait, he's going to meet with future candidates later on, and so on and so forth. I think it's important for the Minister of Foreign Affairs to send a clear signal of support for Senator O'Toole-John's bid, for that strong Canadian voice on the Interparliamentary Union. The Minister or the Parliamentary Secretary have an opportunity right now to express that support, and I think it's very important that they do so.
Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think it's very important that we start out by getting some facts out on the table here. We're standing in this House, or speaking remotely, as the case may be, as parliamentarians to discuss the Interparliamentary Union, an international organization made up of parliamentarians like us, like you, Madam Speaker, and all the members from 179 countries. The IPU is an important international organization, which I myself joined when I became a member in 2008. I'm very disappointed that the member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan, is not a member of the IPU. And I checked the membership today and was very disappointed that he doesn't have the confidence in the IPU that the 85 people, senators and members of parliament, have expressed by joining it. What the IPU is an interparliamentary association. It's not an intergovernmental association. That's very important. It's not the kind of organization that is governmental. This is key in understanding this. It's a long-standing practice that government does not interfere or intervene in our 12 parliamentary associations. This is very important to keep the independence of our parliamentary organizations. And as the co-chair of one of our 12 associations, and I did that for 5 years, I appreciated our independence from government, and I appreciate it, and in fact would expect it or demand it. This does not mean that the government does not wish the senator well in her campaign. In fact, we do. And Minister Champagne has spoken to her about her candidacy already, and will be doing so again. I have known Senator O'Toole-John for many years myself. I respect her greatly, both her work here in Ottawa as well as in the Greater Toronto area, where we both come from. I respect the work that she does, the issues she raises on human rights, on equality, on gender equity, and on anti-racism. However, the accusation that there's anything related to gender in the government following a long-standing practice on interparliamentary organizations is without any basis whatsoever. It's irrelevant. What I would hope is that the member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan, would actually join the IPU, would recognize the importance of it, and also cherish the independence of it. Our government is proud of our interparliamentary associations, the work they contribute internationally and domestically, and we will continue to do that while we continue to support gender equity, making sure that our cabinet, our organizations are always treated with the utmost respect, and ensuring that we have equality and justice. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The honourable member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. There might be something fair in that reprove, in that I've been so busy critiquing the disastrous policy record of this government over the last 5 years. I just haven't had time to fully engage in all of the parliamentary associations I might well have wished to. But if the government stops keeping me busy with all these flaws, these problems in their legislative agenda, I might find time to get more engaged in some of these other areas. But really, that's sort of beside the point, Madam Speaker. The important point here is that it is very legitimate, and I think it is important for our Foreign Affairs Minister to send a clear signal. Without a doubt, it's a signal that the government has been prepared to send in other cases, in cases such as that involving the former Finance Minister. And I hope this isn't about partisanship or about looking for excuses. It wouldn't take much for the Foreign Affairs Minister to send that signal and to work with our diplomatic representatives to say, we want to ensure strong Canadian representation, a strong Canadian voice on the world stage. Is that really so much to ask?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is about the independence and the integrity of our parliamentarians and about the IPU, which stands for democracy and for parliaments around the world to exercise their full rights. We, of course, wish the Senator Tulijan, extreme good fortune in her bid to become its president. At the same time, we will stand and respect the independence. This is completely different from the United Nations or the OECD, which are governmental organizations. I think that the member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan, will understand the difference between a parliamentary organization and a governmental organization. We will ensure that everything is done to support the candidacy of any Canadian seeking any role. However, we will make sure that we also guard and protect the independence of our parliamentary union, our parliamentary associations. Thank you, Madam Speaker.